Hi, everyone. It's Joycelyn Wells, and today I have started a new segment. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm reaching for my phone. I always have a mess. So, this is Joycelyn Wells, and we've started a new segment today called Mondays with Manswell. And I'm going to bring him onto screen so you have an opportunity to get to know him and find out what he's all about. Hi there, Manswell. How are you?
How you doing? I'm doing great.
Great, great. I'm going to make sure that everything's streaming on my socials. And if you wanted to share it on your social media, you can do that as well. And then I want to let everybody meet you. Let's
Sure.
see. Are we going? We're going. We're on there. There we go. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Manswell, who you are, where you're from, what are you doing? Like, what's this all about?
Well, my name is Manswell Peterson. I'm originally from Albany, Georgia. I live in Albany, Georgia now. Um, Believe it or not, 2020 showed us a lot for the state of Georgia. Um, and so when the Republicans reacted to what the voter turnout was, it became one of those issues where you need to step up and stop talking and doing. And so that's what a lot of people they love to talk and not
Mm.
even doing. And so, I put my group together and every campaign always starts with a small, exploratory committee and you go from there and you expand. And then we just decided the landscape was perfect for, a South Georgia candidate to actually run for Secretary of State. My biggest issue was as a author and a business owner, I saw the issues I was having with the Secretary of State's office. Their website is horrible right now. Anybody that's in business that has tried to go to that website, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody that's had tried to call them, they know what I'm talking about. But it was an issue where I had to step up because to me, no one else was stepping out to show that compassion, that caring, or that leadership to run that office. Um,
Wow.
the weirdest thing is that I hear people when they say Secretary of State, they say, okay, that's voting. It is so much more than just
More.
voting.
Yeah.
And so you're
Yeah.
talking about all the licenses that go out through that office. You're talking about all the businesses, all the nonprofits. It is so much more in depth to that office. And so it's almost like taking out a jigsaw puzzle and putting it together every single day because you never know what's going to happen or what's needed. And the way it's set up right now is that it's just it's just jumble. It's just jumbled
Right.
soup. And so you have to make sure you try to fix that. So
So how did
that's what
you
we
so
try to
how
do.
did you decide how did you put your sights on the Secretary of State's office? I mean, you have a world of experience already with education and being a professor and as you said as a writer and just great with public speaking. What was it about that office that said this is my position right here? Did you look at any other offices and positions?
No, we the only thing I actually looked at was the Secretary of State's office when it came to the voting issues, when it came to the businesses. Um, we were hearing more disgruntled people, especially in South Georgia, about our lack
Mhm.
of access to the Secretary of
Mm.
State's office. You know, the fact that, I got friends in Savannah who said, look, at least you got somewhere you can drive to. We don't have anybody over there. So
Wow.
I literally drove over to Savannah. I wanted to see and talk to people what was going on. So before we even made the announcement, I did a tour of the state. So I
Hmm.
was on the road for like a week and a half just talking to people. I went from Albany to Augusta to Savannah to Macon, Columbus. And then we shot up to Atlanta area, and it was just amazing just talking to people. Every single location, it's the same thing over and over again.
So
But it
you went
wasn't
in
for
with
just
you immediately start thinking of solutions, things that were bothering you. You just
right.
started thinking of how could this be better,
Yep,
right? And
and
that,
that's what it boiled down to because
yeah.
we saw so many people with the same issues. But the part that got me was it wasn't just black people talking to me; it was
Hmm.
white people as well, and then had some Hispanics. They were like, "Look, I'm a business owner too, but my friends say you're thinking about this office, and I am." And so that became an issue for me because it was just everybody had the same issues. The only difference was we were in different cities, and so
Hmm.
nobody was, gluing it all together. And that's what we did. And so we came out and we decided, okay, we're gonna go after this office. And it's been about 15 years since someone from South Georgia held a constitutional office. And so
Hmm.
it's not an easy thing to run for. But
Right.
if everything was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
And
So
so,
what are you thinking? What are your steps for running for Secretary of State? So we're in April now, April 2021. The election would be in November of 2022. So you have about 14, 15 months
yeah,
before. Yeah, about 14 months.
believe it
Yeah.
or not, it is so much like, when you're talking about the steps, the first step was already done, with declaring the elect and your bid for the location, the election rather, and then you're putting together people of all walks of life. And so,
Yeah.
like, I got a CEO in Atlanta who's with us. I got
Yeah.
a janitor. I got a janitor in Tipton that's with me. I
Nice.
got a homemaker, in Atlanta. She's with me. In Albany, I have a small business owner, and you think about, like, in Augusta, I got this nonprofit owner. So it's just
Yeah.
like getting together with everybody, and it does take time. The
Hmm.
biggest thing I want people to understand is that, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
And so what everybody does is we went back old school, and you had to, because with this kind of election, it's neighbor talking to neighbor, and they call it grassroots
Hmm.
campaign.
Hmm.
And so because
That used
COVID
to
is
be
still
back
out
in the
there,
Jesse
right,
Jackson days. Used to talk about
right,
grassroots.
right. So literally, because COVID is here, it handcuffs us a little bit more. So now we depend on neighbor telling neighbor telling neighbor telling
Hmm.
neighbor, and that's the bigger difference. And so
Right.
that's how we're making the inroads to the people that we need to make to, because the biggest thing for us right now is, I had a lady tell me, she said, okay, well, the election's not to next year, so I'll donate next year. And when I broke it down and explained to her, I said, man, but we have to pay for gas,
Mhm.
hotel, food,
We need
the
money
t-shirts.
now.
The website that we have up, it's
Yeah.
not free. The webmaster, that's not free. And so you have to do all those things. We have to mail out 1 million mailers
Mm.
between now and next year, the same time.
Mm.
And again, that's not free. It's going to get those 1 million postcards. It's also going to cost us to mail those postcards.
Right.
And so that's why, we're explaining to people, and slowly but surely people are understanding, because you have the people who are in politics, they know people who are not in politics, they're starting to understand why. Um,
Right.
if you would have told me that campaign season would have started this early, none of us would have believed.
Right.
But due to the fact that now we're having to fight off, Trump trying to come back in Georgia again. Now
Uh,
now you have to go back and fight early. It is April.
yeah.
Qualifying isn't until this time next year.
Okay.
But
So
but
what
now
what
you're
do you have to do to qualify, right? Like what is it? You
what
said qualifying?
well qualifying. You go to the Capitol. There's a whole week qualifying, and so what you do is you have to go there and you have to pay your fee, fill out your paperwork, and they'll obviously you're gonna make sure you can't be a felon or
That's
anything else.
the
And
background and they do a
right,
psychological
so
eval
you
and
have
all that
you have
stuff.
to go through our stuff. But literally at the end of the day, the process between here and next year, it's all about neighbor telling neighbor. It's all about grassroots. It's all about getting those billboards up. It's all about getting those postcards out. I literally, on a weekly basis, I'm doing about 10 Zoom calls. And
Yeah.
it's just from different pockets of people throughout the state.
Hmm.
I had a women's group out of California wanted to do a Zoom call because they want to support. And so,
Right.
I had to set up and do one for them. So while it was 7 o'clock their time, it's 10 o'clock my time.
That's right. Well,
And
we wake
so,
up for that stuff.
and
We
so,
stay up for it.
right. So you have to do that. And so,
Yeah.
between me making phone calls all day long, asking individual donors, for their support, and their donation, you're talking to people,
Right.
and again, that's what it's all about. So literally, I have like a 10 pack of cough drops to save my voice,
Hmm.
because I'm always talking. I'm always talking. I'm always talking. If I go to Walmart, they're gonna want to talk. If I go to Publix, they're gonna want to talk.
They're gonna want
And
to talk.
you
That's right.
and you have to give people that time. So literally, if I know I gotta have a Zoom call and I'm within that 1 hour window, I won't go out anywhere, because I'll
Right.
get stuck and everybody's gonna want to talk.
Yeah.
And so you have
Well,
to make
that's
sure
good.
you
At least
understand.
people's recognizing it and they want to talk about it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's good.
I mean, it was shocking, because, like I said, I ran 20 years ago for state representative, and
Oh,
so
okay.
a lot of people did not know that. So they were like, "I can." I said, "No, I ran 20 years ago," and they were like, "Well, why didn't you run, after?" And I said, "Well, I'm not a power seat jumper.
Mm,
You have people who they run for something every election cycle. See,
yeah,
I'm not that person. When I see something I want to fix, then I'll get involved. And
yeah.
the person who ran and she won that election, there was no need for me to keep challenging her. And see,
Right. Yeah.
that's why we have to stop this. These people who want to jump to jump to jump. Are they really there for you?
Yeah.
That's the
Well, let
big
me ask
question.
you this, because most citizens don't deal directly with the Secretary of State office. And you
Right.
pointed out that it's, the business owners and licensing, and when we vote, so it's just very intermittent, right? So
Mhm.
how do you get people to care about you and care about this election? How do you get that person to want to be a part of it?
Well, the easier way, and I explain this to people all the time, sometimes it's neighbors, sometimes it's family, but when you come to me directly, I'll make the time to talk to you about it, and I'll let them know, not only is it about the voting for you and me and your children and possibly your grandchildren, let's say your son who goes to one of the technical schools around the state, and he comes out and he says, okay, I'm a plumber now. And
Mhm.
then after he
Mhm.
finishes 5, 6 years of working for somebody else as a plumber, guess what? He's gonna want to open up that
His
business.
own business. That's right.
Right. So
Yeah.
now here you go. You got to come into Secretary of State's office. Well, you don't have to per se come in, but that paperwork is there. And so
Hmm.
like even the testing that they have to do on certain jobs, you have to do testing. I want to
Hmm.
revamp that testing because it's it's so mundane. It's like 20,
Oh,
30 years ago, the testing hasn't changed. For me,
wow.
when I was in college, I'm a test taker. I could read a chapter one time and be ready for a test. I was the
Mhm.
same way in high school. But see, everybody's not a test taker, and you know, that's not put into that exam process. They're
Right.
taking account for people who aren't test takers. So, like I told her, I said, your son's gonna be a plumber, but when he gets ready to open up his own business, can he get the licensing for it?
Can he get what he needs? Will it be
Right.
available to him?
And so
Right.
that is what I'm trying to do. And so she was like, now it makes more sense
Yeah,
because
that
right now,
does. Because you make it,
so
you brought it home. You brought it
I had
straight
to
to
bring it
the
home
heart.
like to her table. And
Yeah.
so, it's the same thing for someone, who's a beautician or a barber, or electrician. No matter what you want to do, everybody in the state has to go through that Secretary of State's office.
Right.
You have to go through this. While you might not be a business owner, your children, your grandchildren might be one. And if we don't actually get in there and get it changed to where it's better and easier for them to do it, that's
Hmm.
where the problem comes in at. And so
And it has to
that's what the job is.
keep up with the technology piece of it. It has to continue to grow for technological advancement. I mean, things are changing very rapidly. And if you're talking about testing that's relevant 30 years ago, when you have these
It's not the same.
new people going in trying to take this test of things that don't exist, or the process has changed, it really puts people in an awkward position.
Well, think about
Um,
this right here. Look at the smartphone. Think about the
mhm.
smartphone, right? We didn't have this, like this 30 years ago, right? My
Not even, we
first
didn't have this
look, look,
technology
look,
5 years
look,
ago.
look, look. My first cell phone was in a bag like the Miami Vice bag,
Yeah,
right? And
like
so,
the
but
Motorola
now,
bag.
but what I want to do is I want to create the first My Georgia voter app. And
Mm,
so, but now, if even though it's gonna be the Secretary of State's app, you're gonna have the My Voter app in there where you can actually request a ballot right from the app. If you want to
wow.
go there and look at your business stuff from the app, and so that's the bigger difference. And so, me trying to put technology into this office now, you got people who don't even want to touch technology because they're
Well,
so afraid that
hold on a second, because I think that's a great place for us to end and pick up on next Monday. A voter
okay,
app, man,
yeah,
that's going to change the system completely. I love that. And I think that we'll save that for Monday to delve into, just to give our viewers a chance to rewatch this and to share this video if you're not sharing, to share this video and to just kind of start a conversation. Who is Manswell, and what are his plans? And when that conversation comes up about a voter app, we're sure to have some people tuned in next Monday because they want to hear about that. Is there anything you'd like to say to our viewers before we leave? Or
I do want to say hi, thank you to everybody. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. hey, give us a check, look us out, follow us, Manswell for governor, Manswell for Georgia, and we'll go
Yep.
from there. Just check us out, and hey, give us a look. The platform is on the website. We're
Yep.
excited. We're excited.
There's a women's for Manswell Facebook page. There's a Manswell T Peterson Facebook page. Feel free to join either of those, and I'll put a link out that you can make donations, and a link to the website. I'll just put out a little blurb, and the goal is $20 to $25 a month, right, for each person. And if you can't do 20, but you can do 5 or 10, do 5 or 10, because we're the campaign is really kind of planting seeds of growth right now. Where the soil has been toiled, and now we're planting the seeds. So every piece of money will help the campaign. So Manswell, thank you so much. And for everybody watching, thank you for your time. And you guys know, as I like to say, you could be doing anything else, but you're here doing me. Manswell for Secretary of State of Georgia. We'll see you guys next Monday. Bye. See you guys on Monday. Bye.